Hey everybody, Bo here. I am in Rolling Thunder, cabin on wheels, gourmet kitchen in the front, cantina in the rear. Hey, anyway, hey, guess what? I got another project. I'm upgrading the solar. So I'm gonna give you some thoughts on. I'm upgrading the batteries. I'm just adding a battery. I'm also going to put a shutoff in. These are the cables to hook them up in parallel, and I'm also going to hook up a battery monitor, and I'm going to show you how I have them hooked up, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on some of my research, what I found out that's kind of interesting. So anyway, stay tuned and let's go. Alright, so here is my solar battery setup. I had two, and now I'm going to add this third one with the very first one. They're hooked up in parallel, so positive to the next battery, negative to negative, and then positive to the other battery, negative to the other battery. And then you split the positive to one end of the stack and then the negative to the other end of the stack to try and give it an even charge on each battery. Now, from research, I'm finding out that's how I was taught to do it. And from research, the best way to do it is to hook everything to a junction box, and then the junction box to your controller, and then they will each get evenly charged. But this way, when you go positive on, say, this end and negative on that end, I'm going to switch these around. So if you do it that way, apparently from research, the two outer batteries draw more and the inner one is a little bit less. It's about 4 less, if that's volts or whatever, amps. But anyway, so to do it evenly, they say to do a junction box. Now, I was going to do that, but the problem I had is I already bought the connectors, these here, and the ones I bought are 18-inch, and the other two connecting the other batteries, those are 2 feet. And if you're going to use a junction box, you have to use the same length type wire going from the battery to the junction box so that they would evenly get charged. So, and then I'm gonna put this shut off, which I've never had on before. Everything's fused, so the batteries go to the controller, and then the controller for the lights and all the electricity goes to a fuse box, so everything in here is fused. So I was never really worried about a fire or anything, because these are self-contained boxes, and everything else is fused. So, but this will be nice to have this shut off, and hopefully this will solve my power problem. You know, I need power for charging batteries for my cameras. I like power for lights. I like a lot of different lights, low key, all LED, but we have them all over, and we're always running music. And then there's the water pump and the fan. And those two, the water pump and the fan, seem to draw the most, because we'd always run into a problem when we wash dishes at night. So we stopped doing that. When I got the second battery, I never had a problem. And then for some reason, one night we did run out. So I thought, well, these batteries run around 90 bucks. They're 101 amp hours, lead acid. Cheaper than $400, so you know, we're always on a budget. I'd like to add one more solar panel, so that would give us 200 watts of charging power as opposed to one. But we're going to see how this one goes, because I move it into the sun, and that makes it charge really, really well because we're normally parked in the shade. So there you have it. I'm going to get to it, and away we go. Okay, I hate tight spaces. First thing I'm going to do is take off the positive. Okay, I do want to mention I am not an electrician and I do not pretend to be one, so do this at your own risk. And number one, if you have anything installed or anything, first thing you want to do is disconnect your solar panel, because that's an incoming live power source and you don't want to be touching that. So disconnect that from your rig and shut off your controller. Make sure that there's a separation, and then you can work on your batteries at your own risk. So I am going to go ahead and wire this one to here, and then I am going to put in this, and I'm going to mount it over here so I can access it from right under the bed. And we're also going to put in the monitor, which I'm really excited to have the monitor on the set because it'll go straight to the battery. And one thing I like about it is it says, 100%, 90%, 80%, and I like that instead of having to read the bars and read the voltage and everything else. So I'm excited about that, and I do recommend, and it gives me 2 monitor systems. These are all really simple and really inexpensive stuff, so that's why I'm doing lead acid batteries, because the alternative is very expensive, and you're talking $1,000 for 3 batteries. You probably get away with 2. It just depends on your needs. You're not going to be able to run a microwave or a air conditioner. A lot of people bring generators for that reason, but we're not generator people. I don't have one. Everything runs on 12 volt. I'm happy with that. I do have the AC, regular electricity hooked up, and that's totally separate. Someday I may hook them together with an inverter, but right now we really don't need it. So we're just going to stick with this because most of the time we are off the grid. That's why we have the propane heater, and then when we're hooked up, we have the electric heaters. So here we go. Alright, so I had this marked. Some of these wires I'm using, wire that I had and whatever, but you got to look real close for markings so you know which one on the other end is going to be the same. So I mark it with this, and I know this is positive. So this went the way it was hooked up before. One went to the far end positive and the other goes to the negative far end. That's how we're going to hook it up again. But since this comes from my controller and this is the positive, I am going to run that to this shutoff that's going to go here. So let me go ahead and get that done, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and strip this off a little bit more. Okay, so this is my positive coming off the controller. Oh, let's see. Yep, the positive coming off the controller. I think I want to do it the opposite way. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, have to make sure you have it in the right way. So I want, let's see, this one to be on here. I may have had it right, I don't know. Okay, and this is the positive. I have marked with a piece of tape that's going to go on the other side to the battery. So this will be in between the battery and the controller on the positive side. Hey, if you got any comments, questions, you know, like I say, I'm not an electrician, but you know, I'm just trying to give you some good ideas or anything that will help you. Alright, so here we go. And that is going to get mounted here. So now we have the negative that's going to the battery, and the negative coming from the controller. We are going to go ahead and hook these together. Now I recommend doing a twist tie. I don't have any on me right now. I'm just going to tape this really good, and I'm going to tuck everything behind here. I think it's going to be fine. In the old days, you used to call it twisting wires. You know, if you could solder it, that would be good too. I'm going to tape it. See, I like to twist the wires and then I bend it in half, and then I tape it really good. Yeah, they make some really nice shrink wrap stuff. I don't really have all that stuff with me, and I am so used to doing it this way forever. And of course, you know, it's not going to have any stress on it because it's going to be tucked behind here. It's not going to be any water or moisture that I have to worry about. So that's the way it goes. Okay, so that'll get mounted like that. Wires are going to go behind. Right. So next, I'm going to wire the monitor. I got to put a wire to it, and then I'm going to hook everything together. That way it's all easy done and mountable. Alright, I got all my prep done, so this is in, and put that over there. This was the monitor. It's very small. It lights up and then it goes out after 30 seconds, so that's nice because then it's not illuminated all the time. I had to trace the wires, so got that done. Alright, I'm gonna go positive to positive. Yeah, I love this kind of stuff. So it's going to add a little bit more weight, but the axle starts right here, so it kind of puts the weight in the back. I'm hoping to off-center the hitch weight, because the hitch weight is kind of my problem right now. Alright. Negative. This negative is going to go to that negative. Helps if you take off the... You know, also, those felt washers are really good. Keep things from corroding. Alright. I do not like tight spaces. That's a little better. Okay, so now I'm gonna hook up the switch. Okay, positive. We're gonna go to the new battery. And when I twist, I like to put them at a 90°. And then you get a really good tight thread. I'm looking at the top of my head the whole time. Alright. Okay, so here's my little monitor. It's saying 100%. So it gives you the volts, saying 13 volts. But I like it because it's got that, so that makes it just easier. And then it goes off by itself. So we are all hooked up. I'm gonna put this up there, tighten this up, all the wires back here. Got to put some blocks in here so they don't come out. One thing about transit, everything has a place. So normally there's stuff in here, and the grill's here. The clothes go here, and a milk crate, and that works out really well. So we are hooked up and ready to go. So all I gotta do is tighten it up, and that's it. See you on the other side. Hey, if you buy one of those door magnetic screens, you can tack them up, or they also come with Velcro. I like to tack it because I don't really trust glue, but these do work pretty well. So what I do is I save these. They give you a bunch of these, and I will use this to mount right here for the monitor. Alright, so that's what it looks like all buttoned up. I am going to get a bin for that grill so it'll slide in there real nice. Here's the shut off. Here's the little monitor. All right. You know, the best thing about doing a cargo trailer conversion or a van conversion, you don't have to do everything all at once. You can do the basics like the bed and the things that you need immediately. But the fun part is upgrading. I am so excited to now have 3 batteries. So my next step for the solar is going to be, I have one 100 watt panel. I'd like to add another one to the roof. I don't think I'm going to do that this summer. I was going to do a screwless mount, but I have decided what I'm going to do is build a roof rack so that it is not attached to the roof at all. So if I need to do some painting or waterproofing or anything I want to do to the roof, and it'll make it much easier to remove the panel and replace it if I want to. I think 2 panels is the magic number. I'd love to have one on the roof and then a portable to move around and put in the sun. Time will tell on that, but I think the 3 batteries and the 1 panel will serve us well for this summer. So anyway, thanks for spending a little time with Bo and listening to me ramble. And like I say on the batteries, they say same resistant wires, so same length. So if you did 2 footers on each one, put all the positives to one pole, the negatives to one pole, and then run it from there, and you will get an even charge on each battery instead of doing it in parallel and going from positive on one side and negative on the other end. Study says it's not completely even, but that's what I'm working with, so I think it's going to serve us well. Maybe later I will replace those 1 cables and put a junction box in and see how that works. So thanks for spending a little time. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And check out my gallery if you get a chance, and check out my lightning work in Colorado, Arizona, and everything else. So again, till next time, see ya!